Welcome everyone to another edition of Play It Through, and on this edition is the Immortal, brought to us by Electronic Arts. The Immortal is an isometric action puzzle game originally created for Apple II computers and imported over to many other home computer systems, the NES and Sega Genesis, with the NES being the one I'm most familiar with. The game features some of the most cryptic gameplay and some of the most annoying instant deaths I have ever experienced in any game. This is one of those great examples of a game I could never complete as a child, and am so happy I was finally able to beat it now. The game, while in one giant labyrinth, is broken up into segments. Completing a segment will net you a password so you can continue on. Though, as a kid, I never got to any of these password screens. When we start the game, you can put in the password if you would like to continue your previous game, and then start controlling your wizard. There are too many countless instant death traps for me to really get into, and there's a few in the very first room of the game. Stepping on the wrong panel and not moving quickly off of it will end up causing you to get, well, killed and having to start over. There are many different enemies in the game that you're going to be running into, and when you make it to one of these combat scenarios, you'll go to a different style of screen, which is actually very cool. The combat, though, is extremely clunky in the game, using the attack button, and then the left and right alternating is usually the best way. You can try to block your opponent's attacks, but this usually ends up just causing me to flail back and forth and end up still getting hit. I find the best strategy is to bombard the enemy with over and over attacks. In this first room, we take out that first goblin. We're going to go over and get a key from the guy on the other side of the room. On the opposite side, we're going to look at the dead body and get the items off of him, as well as get the items from the bag that was laying on the ground as well. With all the items now in our possession, we exit into the next room. Now here, we'll battle another goblin. Like I said, some nicely timed swipes of just relentlessness. Not allowing him to get a hit is the best strategy I've found, though this is inconsistent. You can either stab straight forward, or like I said, either left or right by holding those buttons. Also, alternating with a nice steady pace of left, right, while also mashing the attack button seems to also do wonders. After you defeat the enemy, though, search the body, and you should find the door key on one of the two bodies here. Use the chest nearby in order to grab some 50 gold, as well as a few other items. I know there is a lot going on already in the game, and that's pretty much how it's going to go as I'm entering each room. I'll do my best to explain it as we go. In the next room, hug the wall and watch out for the arrows popping out of the walls from the skulls on the wall. In this room, walk around the pit. If you see me walk a particular weird looking path, there's probably a good reason for it. In this room, try to walk around and avoid the spiders. On this opposite side, pick up the Amulet item and then go to the next door nearby. It'll be locked, but we picked up a key just a little bit ago, so we'll be able to use that on the locked door. In this room, watch out for fireballs and other enemies, and you'll see a light popping out of the wall. Once here, select the Amulet, and you'll want to hold it up to the light, but do not read the incantation on the back of it. Once you do so, it'll open up a new hatch, and we can go down the ladder here. Once down here, avoid the enemy if you can. If not, you'll have to do another battle, and then go down the next ladder, and you'll complete the first level of the game. When we start the next area, there's a red gem immediately on the ground near the ladder that we came down, and on the opposite side of the room there's also a pile of bones. Look through that and you'll find a few items. Be sure to take the items with you. Do not search the green slime on the ground farther, though. Instead, after that scene, go to the next room and you'll find, well, a friendly face in the next room. He'll sell you a potion for 100. Just say that, yes, we want to buy it even though we don't have enough, and then after the dialogue, go right back to him and he'll say, hey, I'll sell it to you now for 80. Yes, now you'll want to buy for the 80, and we have enough gold from the previous level. One of the more annoying enemies during this is the Willow Wisp that are flying all around. Use the Charmed spell in order, well, to charm the Wisp to help you out. You'll find a granite stone in the left corner here. Make sure you pick it up and then go through the door up here. Once inside this room, you're gonna find 2 goblins standing here. Don't go up to them yet. Use the charm spell, and hopefully one of the wisp have come with you, at least one of them, and the wisp will actually take out the 2 enemies standing here. If you get too close, you'll end up having to do battle with these guards. This is just really gonna help you out as far as trying to keep your health up. Once they're both taken care of, walk up to the body and you can search it in order to find a bag of dust. You're going to use a bag of spores that we got earlier on the pile on the ground. You're probably going to have to deal with the goblin also in the room with us. After he's finally been taken care of and you've dropped the spores, exit the room. Once out here, just move around a little bit and then go back in the room. You'll see that the spores have done their magic and destroyed this guy. He will say he needs some water. Since we have a bottle of special water already with us, make sure that you give it to him, and he will give you a little hint about the next level. After that, go back to the previous room and go right through the next door, back to the room where we got the Willow Wisp that are flying around. Try to manipulate them the best you can so you can get ahead of them while walking through. You don't want these wisps really going too much with you. You can attack them with your own fireball attack, and you'll want to use that to do as much damage to them. These guys will drain your health fast. You'll notice in the lower right corner, that is your health, that little gray square in the corner, and it will go down very quickly. I try my best to take out the spores, and after enough of a lengthy battle, I move on to the next room where we're introduced to a new enemy. These guys are tougher than the other guys as they'll hit harder, but it's pretty much the same exact strat that we used on the other regular goblins. Once he's done, you'll want to head down here, trying to do your best to avoid this wisp and go through the next door. Now in this room, you're going to want to use the dust. Throw it up into the air and then get near this guy up here, and he will give you a red gem. Watch out and avoid some spiders along this room and head into the next. Now here, use the potion that we got from the guy at the beginning of this stage. This way we can manipulate the green slime. Once the slime is on top of you, drop the granite rock on him. This will turn the granite rock into a red gem. We now have 3 red gems in our possession. Use the key on the next room, and once inside here, you'll find 3 symbols on the ground. You have to place the red gems in these 3 specific locations, and once you've done so, it'll open up a hatch that allow us to move on to the next level. At the beginning of the next level, head down the ladder nearest to us, then, well, down another ladder. Once down here, you're going to see 2 enemies fighting on the top of the screen. Don't go near them quite yet. Wait for them to break apart. Then, get close and fight the yellow horned guy. Once you've taken him out, search his possessions and grab him, and then go back to the ladder. You don't have to deal with the green guy. If you're quick enough, you'll be able to not have to do both of these fights. Once back up the previous ladder, you're going to want to use the ring. This will transform you into, well, one of those goblin-looking guys. This way you can walk past the guy right nearby and grab a few items located inside this chest. After picking up a few troll bombs as well as some gold, go back here and climb up the next ladder. You can unequip the ring now. Once back here, well, just go down the ladder that we haven't traveled down yet. Once here, you're going to see a couple more guys battling on the lower side, but we're going to try to avoid them altogether and just get to the door that's locked down here. You have to use a troll bomb on it, though, in order to open it. In this room, you're going to run into the king, who needed water earlier on. After you find out that the goblins and the trolls are currently at war, head up the ladder nearby. Now here you're going to see impaling rod spikes coming out of the ground. Well, you don't want to get close to them as they're popping out, so just avoid them, pick up the red gem, and go down the opposite ladder. Now here you're going to see two of the trolls. Use the bomb on the troll as he approaches you. This will freeze him in place, allowing you to get by him and go through the next door. Now in this room, use another troll bomb on the troll. Then on the circled triangle pedestal, wait for the flame to turn green. Once it does, step on it and use the red gem. It will teleport you to the opposite side of the room we started in for this level. Go down this ladder and boom, you're on to the 4th level of the game. When we start up the next level, immediately walk up and talk to this guy again. He will give you the magic carpet. After getting the magic carpet, head through the door nearby. Now in here, we're going to use the carpet, and this way we can easily fly around the room, watching out for the fire that pops out of the ground. All the way located here is a ring. You're going to want to make sure that you pick this up. Once you have the ring, manipulate the carpet and turn back around and head through the door nearby. You're going to have to unequip the carpet to go through the door. Now in here, use the carpet once again and try to fly all the way across the room, watching out for fireballs. De-equip the magic carpet and go through this door and then down this ladder. Once down here, try to do your best to avoid this troll. You have to be really, really good at manipulating them and running past, as it's really tricky to do that in this game, but you can avoid another fight if you get really good at it. Either way, fighting him or not, then talk to Anna located down here, and give her the ring that we found just a few moments ago. She will thank you and hug you, and you'll get another ring in return. After the conversation with her, head down the next ladder. I know, a lot of ladders, right? Once down here, battle the troll. Once the troll's defeated, I recommend just going back up the ladder and coming back down to reset the room, because this whole next part can be a little bit finicky. And again, most of this game can be. What you have to do is walk around the circle clockwise 3 times, and once you've done so correctly, you will get the next ladder to appear. Like I said, sometimes it's a little bit wonky, so I recommend resetting the room prior. Once you go down the ladder though, congratulations! We've completed the level and we're moving on to the next level. As soon as we start off the next time, we will be immediately greeted by a goblin, and then we can find a large egg in the left corner. Go through the door nearby, and we will meet some more goblins who will tell us a little bit of backstory. After the conversation, go to the next room and you'll find a merchant. Talk to him, he'll give you a little information. You can buy a potion off of him for 60 gold. Back into the room where the goblins talked to us a few seconds ago. Now go to the other part that we haven't quite explored yet and use the potion near the hole in the wall to shrink down in size. Once you've shrunken down inside, we're going to go to this part of the room and wait over here. The enemies in this room will kind of meet near us, and after a few seconds, I'm going to start heading up north. If you do this right, you can avoid fighting them right away and get to the chest, unlocking it to find gold. Take the bottle and the gold, and after reading the instructions here, get ready because you're going to have to do some quick dodging or get in a fight or two with the 2 goblins located in the room. After having now the sensor in my possession, I'm now going to run around the chest to the corner and run straight down the wall to the door. 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to fight at least one of those 2 goblins, if not both of them. Drink the potion in the next room and use some fireballs to deal with the lizards flying around. Once they are dead, search the body in order to find a door key, and then use it on the door in the other part of this room. Once in here, this is one of the worst rooms in the game. Try to do your best to mimic and follow my exact movements, as there are tons of instant death spots throughout this room. After a lot of wandering around, we can finally make it to the door on the opposite end. Once in this room, the egg that we picked up earlier will open up, and there will be a young dragon flying around with you. Step on this pad, then use the bait, and if you use it on the center of the button, the dragon will land down on it to eat and allow you to go down this ladder. If you step off that pressure pad, of course, without the dragon being on there, it'll close back up and you won't be able to make it down the ladder. Go down the next ladder and move on to, well, the next level of the game. As soon as you start up the next level, you're going to have to deal with a troll. This segment is the toughest segment of the game, as you deal with a troll here and then run into Dumrick. After talking to him and giving him the ring we got from Anna in the previous level, we're then going to be going down a ladder and having to deal with another troll. I do think it's possible to move around this guy in this room and get to the ladder we need to, but most of the time I was never able to do so, unfortunately you'll have to do both of these fights. Once both trolls have been defeated, we've talked to Dumrick and given him the ring, and we're going to go down the next ladder, and we're going to end up on one of the toughest segments of the entire game. We're floating on a barrel. And now we must use our fire projectiles to help us maneuver and ride around on the barrel. You're going to head this way all the way through, but be very careful when you make it around this upcoming corner. You don't want to get too close. The enemy will spawn, you'll hear the music change. This is your cue. As soon as you hear that music change, book it. You have to be extremely fast and extremely precise to outrun the monster that is chasing you. The monster gets you, guess what? Of course, instant death. After it chases you for a while, make it to the whirlwind and get inside of the whirlpool spinning around. Surprisingly, this is actually what you want to do, and once you've done so, you'll be able to move on to the next part. This is it, the final level of the game. You'll be awoken in the next stage with a goblin holding onto you. Open up the chest nearby. Inside there's gold, but also 2 important spells. The fire protection spell, as well as the blink spell. And we're going to be using both of these in the final battle of the game. Go down the ladder here, and then walk to the center of the room. Now, the floor will open up and you will start to fall down. Don't press anything, just let the process take place and you'll fall through into the dragon's lair. Once down here, use the blink spell. Now, press the fire button at the right time in order to disappear and have the fire miss you. You have to be exactly precise. Even a half of a second off and you are toast, and you'll have to start the level over again. You only get a certain amount. When the dragon does a double take, you're going to want to go ahead and switch and use the fire protection spell. Now, use the Amulet. Using the Amulet will stun the dragon and cause the other wizard now to appear on the opposite rock. Once you get control and he has taken the Amulet from you, then you're going to want to use the statue spell, as now this other wizard's going to try to attack you. Just like with the dragon, you have to be pinpoint precise with your button presses to turn into a statue at the right moment to avoid getting destroyed by the lightning. One time that he'll do it though, he'll throw it up in the air and just bring it back to them. This is just to trick you and cause you to use and waste one of your statues. If you waste a statue on this, you're going to run out and end up dying. Once you have run out, you'll be out of all of your defenses, and you won't have anything left at your disposal. After the dialogue and you get control of your character, use the magnet spell. This will pull the amulet back to you and cause the dragon to attack the other wizard. And there you go. That is the end to the Immortal on the NES. I cannot stress how tough this game truly is, and especially there's pinpoint button presses during the final encounter. After a little bit of text dialogue, you'll get congratulations, the adventure is completed. You can press OK and start the game all over again. But with that, that's going to wrap up this edition of Play It Through. I'd like to thank you for watching, and of course, I hope you enjoyed.